Oh my God, you guys, this might be the fastest I have ever sat down to make a video because we have to talk about Fendi. On Friday, we witnessed the Resort 2023 collection, which was celebrating 25 years of the Fendi Baguette, and it was one of the best shows I have seen in a long time. I'm sorry, I have been MIA lately. I am so busy with my full-time job as well as just summer and getting my son now back to school. It has just been crazy. But this is something that I cannot miss, so I wanted to sit down and shoot this video as soon as possible so that I could tell you all about these amazing pieces. First, I'm gonna show you my favorite looks from the show and give you my initial reaction. Then I'm gonna show you a ton of detail photos. I have been scouring the internet all weekend, looking at hashtags, looking at stories, just screenshotting any detail images that I could find of these bags. And then I also want to compare all of the bags on the runway to the vintage styles that they are essentially reinterpreting. So I'll show you the bags on the runway, their vintage counterpart, and then I will tell you my thoughts and which ones you should be buying. If you are not following me on Instagram, you are missing out because I posted like 50 stories over the weekend of all of these things that we're gonna talk about in this video. So many cool pictures and just so much excitement. I'm probably gonna flash a lot of my stories up on the screen because I already have that stuff shot with some of my notes even in it. So if you're not following me already, it's Rachel Went Shopping. I actually had a ton of Fendi content planned for YouTube and TikTok leading up to this event, and I just lost track of time. I have been so busy at work prepping for the fourth quarter, which is like the busiest time of the year. So I really apologize, but please follow me on TikTok as well because I'm gonna post a bunch of Fendi content there. I have a whole history of the baguette video that I wanna film for you. I am a bit of a baguette freak. I know way too much information about it. So in this video, I'm gonna try to strictly stick to this show and not get too much into the history because I can get sidetracked, but please stay tuned for that video because I promise it will be chock full of some really cool factual historical information. I also want to show you some of my baguettes, but they are super special to me and I want to be able to tell you the full story and everything about them when I do show them to you. So again, I don't want to waste time in this video. I just want to talk about what we saw on the runway on Friday. If you're new here, my name is Rachel. This is my YouTube channel, Rachel Went Shopping, where we talk about all things luxury fashion, but especially handbags, which are my favorite. If that sounds interesting to you, then please consider subscribing to my channel. Again, I have a ton more Fendi Baguette content specifically coming up, so make sure you stick around. I'm gonna put a disclaimer in here now about the way I say baguette because I feel like, I don't know if it's like a Midwestern accent or what, but the way I say it makes me cringe when I watch it back, so I'm gonna apologize ahead of time. Baguette, baguette. I say baguette. Baguette. I'm gonna do my best to like not annoy you the entire time. So first I want to talk about this Vogue article. This article actually released on Thursday, September 8th, which was the day before the show, and it gave us a little bit of a heads up on the collaborations that were to come. I think there was a little bit of a rumor mill already, but obviously this gave us a real sneak peek in what we were going to be seeing on Friday and really helped build that excitement. In the article, they talked a little bit about, you know, why it was important for them to do the show in New York, and it just makes so much sense, especially if you know the history of the baguette and how it became popular. But obviously Fendi is an Italian brand. The baguette was made in Rome and the brand is all about Italian craftsmanship. But the thing that made this bag the first it bag was New York, because New York really popularized the bag. And that is mainly credited to the show Sex and the City. And Carrie Bradshaw was the one to popularize the bag. Fendi was actually the first major designer label to lend items to the show. And she wore Fendi, I believe starting in season 2 throughout the rest of the series and even in the reboot and just like that. But one of the biggest scenes in history was the one where she's getting robbed of her purple sequin baguette.
Give me your bag.
What?
Your bag.
It's a baguette.
Let me have it.
So that made it a household name. And obviously Fendi really accredits the popularity of the baguette to the New York woman. So I thought that was such a great idea to do the 25th anniversary here and then bring the collaborators in that were real, you know, New York natives. Marc Jacobs is born and raised in New York. To me personally, this is so exciting because Marc Jacobs is one of my favorite fashion designers of all time, I would say. But personally, I just have a connection to Marc Jacobs in New York because when I first moved to New York and started working in fashion, it was one of the main brands that I wore, Marc by Marc Jacobs, because it was affordable and still fashion forward. There's so much more to the story, but I will say a Marc by Marc Jacobs handbag was the first contemporary designer bag that I purchased for myself with my own money. Prior to that, I started collecting in high school, but they were primarily gifts. I think I had 3 contemporary designer bags before I got my first designer bag. And then the Marc Jacobs bag was either my 5th or 6th bag. I can't remember if I got my 2 luxury bags before that or not, but either way, it was the first bag that I shelled out my hard-earned cash for. And I used to love going down to the West Village to the Marc by Marc Jacobs store. Again, I was a student. I didn't have money, so I couldn't buy like high fashion things. But Marc by Marc Jacobs created this accessible price point where you could go down to that store and feel like you were shopping because you could buy a Marc Jacobs pencil. And then I was obsessed with the charity t-shirts that had the naked celebrities on them. And I have so many of them. I have to dig them out somewhere. But I definitely have Eva Mendes, Brandon Boyd, like the lead singer of my favorite band at the time. I think I have Marc Jacobs for sure. I have Victoria Beckham. I loved those t-shirts, but I would go down there all the time. It was also near Magnolia Bakery, so you could get a cupcake, and it's just such a New York thing. And Marc Jacobs is such a New York staple because, well, he was the biggest ticket show at New York Fashion Week. Like, that's all anybody would talk about. When you worked in fashion, Marc Jacobs was the show that you wanted to go to. Like, that was like, you made it if you were invited to the Marc Jacobs show. And now I don't know why I didn't think of this before. It totally makes sense why he is the perfect collaborator for this 25th year anniversary of the Baguette bag. Fast forward, when I started my first job, which I've mentioned to you guys is at the greatest luxury department store in the world. I worked in the buying office and I was not a skinny size 0 girl. There was not a lot of clothes that I could wear to work, but I wanted to wear, contemporary designer clothes just like everyone else. I would go to the 5th floor, the contemporary floor, and shop around for things to wear because I also got my discount. I wanted to use my discount. And I remember there was only 2 brands that went up to a size 14 or had like an extra large that was actually an extra large. And Marc Jacobs was just like true, I felt American sizing. And Marc Jacobs was one of the only brands that went up to a size 14. I think the other one was 𝒢𝓊𝓎𝓈. I have so many cute little Marc Jacobs dresses that were, again, I'm talking Marc by Marc Jacobs, but that were my first job work dresses, and I refuse to get rid of them, even though they're totally worn now. But again, I'm just expressing to you how much Marc Jacobs means to me. And then even when I got into heavily collecting Louis Vuitton, the majority of my collection is Marc Jacobs pieces. I pretty much only buy, and Virgil Abloh pieces. So I buy on the men's side, Virgil Abloh. I like Kim Jones, but I don't collect him like I collect Virgil. And on the women's side, I collect 90% Marc Jacobs. Those are my favorite collections. I like a little bit of the new Nicolas Gasquier stuff, but most of the stuff I like is actually inspired by previous Marc Jacobs collections. Same with Virgil pieces. So again, I hope I've expressed a little bit to you why I love Marc Jacobs so much and why I totally agree he is a New York staple and was the perfect collaborator for this collection. The other collaborators were Tiffany Co, again, a New York staple, so totally makes sense to me. And then Sarah Jessica Parker, who obviously popularized the bag, so she deserves to have her own collaboration version. And then there was also a Porter collaboration that I saw tagged in the Fendi Instagram post. They're not really talking about it, and Fendi has collaborated with Porter before. Those first 3, Marc Jacobs, Tiffany Co, and I just realized I'm not wearing my wedding ring. I set it down. Those first 3 just make complete sense.
There's the 3 elements in the collection. So we've done the Fendi version, then there's a Tiffany version for the Uptown New York story, and then Marc's done a collection for the Downtown New York story. So it's everything you see in New York.
Kim Jones said, "Come play in my playground," in the Fendi playground.
The The other cool thing obviously is just that Marc Jacobs and Kim Jones worked together at Louis Vuitton, and it was, I think, a bittersweet thing for Kim to now be asking Marc Jacobs to be the collaborator here, and Marc Jacobs was someone that really, you know, gave Kim his start at Louis Vuitton. So I think that was really cool. I think one of the quotes from the article is Marc Jacobs said that it was weird being on the other side. He wasn't sure if he wanted to do it because usually he's the one asking someone to collaborate, not the one being asked to collaborate with. So that was pretty cool. And then I'll read you this one part from the article about, you know, his thoughts about what to do with the bag. So it said, I thought about what we're doing with bags at Marc Jacobs right now. We have really gotten into logos the last couple of seasons. It's what people like, obviously logo mania. And so he echoed the typeface decorating his widely popular The Tote Bag, applying it to a purse that now reads The Baguette Fendi Roma. I kind of mixed the two together. It's a link between Fendi and our own product, he says, and I love that. So Marc Jacobs is, I think, gonna make a full resurgence. He's already here. The tote bag is already popular, especially in contemporary circles. In my opinion, that's a really great first bag for somebody right now. I think we're gonna see the continuation of a Marc Jacobs comeback though with Marc Jacobs Heaven, which I'm a fan of. I'm wearing my Marc Jacobs Heaven necklace today. I have another really cool piece, but I think he is coming back in full force and we're gonna start seeing a lot more of him, which I love. So I thought it was a really cool idea to bring his brand in like that. And again, in the apparel, we saw heavy influence from his brand, and we'll talk more about that when we look at the photos. So I was so excited to see the show. I had been waiting for a really long time. I was ready. We knew the 25th anniversary was coming. I am a huge fan of the baguette. It feels like just yesterday in 2012 we were celebrating the 15-year anniversary of the baguette. I actually have my book back here, which it's really this book is huge and heavy. It's out of print now. These resell for a couple $100s now. I'm obsessed with this book. It shows so many iterations of the baguette in it. Maybe I will show you some in this video if you stay tuned. This book is so big. I never have a good spot for it. I always have to like hide it away because I have so many books everywhere in this room, downstairs in my little like library area. But anyways, I feel like the big excitement for this show was going to see what the collaborations were. And in my opinion, these collaborations were outstanding. They just make sense for everything that is the baguette. And I really love what they did with the 25th year anniversary. I'm actually really sick of hearing people say, oh my God, I'm so sick of collaborations. Can we quit it with the collaborations? It's such a money grab, blah, blah, blah. Collaborations have been happening in fashion for a very long time. Notably, obviously, we remember them starting in the 90s, again with Marc Jacobs. But even before that, Louis Vuitton had constantly been collaborating with artists, architects on things not just fashion related. But Fendi has also collaborated with artists for the longest time, almost since the beginning. Not just artists, but also local craftsmen that you may not know about. They might not be like household brand names, but they collaborate with a lot of local artisans to bring craftsmanship to their brand and to the baguette bag, for example. So I think that people that say collaborations are annoying are annoying. I love collaborations when they make sense. Personally, I aesthetically like the Fendi Versace collaboration. It didn't mean as much to me though. Like, yes, two Italian designers collaborating, I like it. It was fun. The Gucci Balenciaga one, I like because it was the first one that had two big brands. To me, that was very collectible. But the collaborations we're seeing here really makes sense to me in terms of like the history of the baguette in New York. And I think this was such a good idea. I would love to have been a fly on the wall when they were strategizing this and coming up with it, because I'm kind of like, why didn't I think of that? I really am impressed with what they did here. Okay, so I have my phone here and we are going to start by going through my favorite looks from the show. I'm not going to talk about every look. I'm going to talk about my favorites and then we will dive deep into the bags. I'm going to do my very best to not look down at my phone the entire time, because sometimes I end up doing that and I absolutely hate it. Overall look, I'm not going to dive deep into the bags yet. Look 2 stood out to me. I really like this like workwear inspired jacket over this luxurious looking sequin dress, and the baguette really stands out. It's inspired by a vintage style, but it just looks really exquisite here. And we're seeing the first touch of the Tiffany collaboration in this nano baguette, as well as the Tiffany blue sunglasses she's wearing. Look 9, we have a plus size model, Precious Lee. I follow her on Instagram. She is gorgeous and she is carrying that classic paillette sequin baguette in this beautiful lime green color. And she's got this whole like lime green chartreuse silk dress on. This is gonna be, I think, a big color this season. This is a little more lime green, but definitely chartreuse. I love look 12. This like see-through, again, greenish chartreusey dress. She's got a bag on her arm, which we are gonna look at because I'm pretty sure this is the Sarah Jessica Parker collaboration bag. And then she's holding a nano with the paillette sequins, which we have seen before, but I really like this look with the hat. I think overall, this is a really cool look. Look 15 is amazing. If I could wear something like this every day, I would. Like a sweater over like a silk dress or a silk skirt with this beanie. She's got the little, we're gonna talk about all these charms, but she has the charms as earrings, so cute. And then of course she's wearing the paillette sequin baguette that we've seen over and over now. Look 27, this model looks incredible. I am loving this whole look with the black ensemble with the dark midnight blue and the beanie, the bag with the gloves. If I were going to buy the beanie and the gloves, I think I would get the black just because it's easier because I wear a lot of black. This whole look, I just think she looks gorgeous. And I'm not really loving the front pocket baguette. Look 32, I think that's the first glimpse of the satin Tiffany bag that we're getting. I love look 34 with this oversized sweater. She's wearing this long necklace with all the baguette charms on it. So cool. And then she has a tiny mini baguette in her hand with the beanie kind of sitting up high. I love this whole look. Looks like probably like a mohair sweater. Look 42. I love this. The beanie with this Fendi Roma kind of rock and roll shirt, and then the sequin skirt that is reminiscent of the square sequins that we saw on the baguette in look 1, as well as on many vintage styles. This is such a cool look, and I really want to point out the jewelry here because the jewelry in this collection is exceptional, and it is my understanding that it is designed by 𝒢𝓊𝓎𝓈, Fendi's daughter, who works as well with the brand. She is a jewelry designer, but the jewelry in this collection was particularly outstanding, and I'm going to show you some more of that detail shot as well. Look 43, it just stands out because of the Tiffany blue. She's got that crocodile Tiffany blue bag. She's wearing this Tiffany blue necklace, and obviously it's Bella Hadid, so this is quite a standout look. I think I can see probably some fashion influencers wearing this jumpsuit. Obviously it's not something I would wear. Look 44 is the first look of Marc Jacobs, and when I saw this, I just about died. So actually, let me talk really quickly about Marc Jacobs. Something people say about Marc Jacobs is that he doesn't have a distinct style, and I like that about him. I resonate with that because I feel like I don't either. I like what I like of the time, of the moment. I mean, there's certain things that have been themes throughout my life, but if I'm feeling girly one day and I want to dress like girly, then I want to do that. But my uniform is black jeans, black t-shirt, black leather jacket. So I want to dress how I'm feeling that day or what I'm interested in at that time. And I feel like that kind of resonates with him as well. So I am loving Marc Jacobs, but you can see the influence of Marc Jacobs in these pieces. And that leads me to the Pamela Anderson influenced hat, which I just love. The way the Marc Jacobs looks are styled is amazing. And I have a couple screenshots here from his stylist that I'll be posting when we look at details. But the strap of this bag, which we can't see, we couldn't see. When this initially came out, you only get the first picture. You don't get the detail shot. So I'm zooming in, trying to see everything we can see. You've got this strap with all these tiny baguettes. You've got a belt with nano baguettes, mini baguettes hanging off. You got like literally there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different sizes of baguettes on this model. The skirt though really stood out to me, and initially when I first looked at this, I thought this was all white. It wasn't until I re-looked at the photos and saw some behind the scenes photos that I realized this is a very light wash denim, so it does have a little bit of blue. The next look though is what really blew. I was like, oh my god, this is incredible. Look 45 with this corset little top with the leather gloves, the backward skirt again with this Pamela Anderson fur hat, and obviously Fendi FF stands for fun fur. It's great to see that he incorporated that into it while also bringing his aesthetic in. We have another baguette here that's hard to see in the initial picture. You get to look 49. I died. This is so cool with the neon. You guys know I love neon. Also, they're all wearing these like stomper boots, which Marc Jacobs has insane platforms in his Heaven collection. If I was young and short, oh my gosh, they're also like well priced, so you should definitely check it out. This look is so cool with this like robe jacket and this oversized maxi baguette, and it looks kind of like boucle or tweed. Just love the color. Oh my gosh, the next look, guys, I love everything. These are like parachute pants. Parachute cargo pants are so big right now, and then all this stuff tied around the waist, this giant t-shirt again with the hat, and then another huge bag, these long leather gloves. I'm loving this look. 52, I think, is my favorite look in the entire show. This skirt that has these cargo elements, the arms tied in the front, and then the corseted top with the gloves with the hat. This is my favorite look in the show. You have to see this jewelry, you guys, on her gloves. You might miss it because there's so much going on here. But the bracelets she's wearing are incredible. And then she has the bejeweled baguette in what I believe is a mini baguette. There's a little bag, there's a little baby hanging off of it. Ugh, wait till I show you these bags. I have much better pictures. And then look 53, she's carrying that same jeweled baguette except in what I think is the normal size. And she has this fur train, again, the epitome of fun fur. Guys, Marc Jacobs absolutely killed it with these 10 looks. And it might not be everyone's aesthetic. You guys might be like, oh my God, I thought it was so ugly. I can't express how much I loved it. And then let's look at the final photo here, because we have Kim Jones, we have Marc Jacobs, we have Linda Evangelista in this Tiffany blue cape, who, by the way, looks amazing. I think she is holding a silver Tiffany collaboration bag, and we will talk about that, but I think that's what she's holding. To her left, you have the incredible Silvia Venturini Fendi, the creator of the Baguette bag, and then next to her on her left is her daughter. So the amazing Silvia Venturini Fendi is third generation Fendi family. She is responsible for all of the bags and accessories as well as the men's collection. To her left is her daughter 𝒢𝓊𝓎𝓈. She is now fourth generation Fendi family, and I believe she has a daughter who's like young. But anyways, I just think it's so cool. So her daughter 𝒢𝓊𝓎, I believe, did all the jewelry in the show. She has her own fine jewelry collection. She's a jewelry designer, but she also works with Kim Jones at Fendi. I don't know her exact title, but it is pretty clear, obviously she's standing there, that she worked on the jewelry in this collection, which is absolutely exceptional. And you guys know I love jewelry. Very interested in the jewelry I'm seeing here. I wanted to show you another Marc Jacobs Heaven piece that I got a while ago. This, see, says Heaven by Marc Jacobs. I love costume jewelry as well as fine jewelry, but obviously costume jewelry is much easier to buy. So it says FUCK, and then it has these huge crystals like this with like a black corset top with like a black leather jacket. Obsessed. Again, I love, I want to say the word, I keep wanting to say the word cheeky because I started watching Love Island UK recently. I've never said that word before in my life. Campy, unique things, sometimes offensive. I love that. So I love jewelry, and the jewelry really stood out to me in this collection. Okay, so now let's look at all of the details and detail shots that I found on some of these bags. So let's talk about the Tiffany Co collaboration first. So there's this WWE article I'll flash on the screen that says the Fendi Baguette is going Tiffany blue, and it specifies that it says the Tiffany Co Fendi capsule collection includes a medium baguette in crocodile, smooth leather or silk satin, a nano size in smooth leather or silk satin with a sterling silver chain handle. All styles come with the special Return to Tiffany charms, baguette shaped enamel charms, which we saw Bella Hadid wearing, and they will also be on offer as part of the collection, priced at $23.50 to $140,000, and that it lands in stores in January. This crocodile bag, if you zoom in, you can see the T's in the Fendi logo. They've like made the T's in these baguette cut diamonds. Of course, baguette diamonds on the baguette, which is used often in vintage styles, but I thought that was a really cool detail. You see the nano bag and you can see the sterling silver chain and the Return to Tiffany label, which we're all all familiar with. And again, you can see the T's in sort of like a Tiffany blue enamel on that Fendi logo, which I think is a really cool detail. Here is an up close shot of the Tiffany blue nano bag in smooth leather on the model. And then the silk one is really cool. Fendi has used standard silk in a lot of their vintage baguettes. If you're into Tiffany and you like Tiffany blue, I think these are great options for you. Here's a detail shot of the nano again in smooth leather and what that silver chain looks like as the handle. Bella Hadid was carrying the crocodile one on the runway, so there is a detail shot of that one as well. Here is a up close photo of the bag Linda Evangelista is wearing. You tell me if you don't think this looks like sterling silver. This looks like a Tiffany piece to me. She's wearing it in an image with Kim Jones and Kim Kardashian. Kim posted this on her Instagram. The third collaboration is with Sarah Jessica Parker. So this, I believe, is the bag the model was wearing on the green dress. You couldn't tell from the runway photos or the detail photos because her arm was covering the middle of the bag. But if you look at the photos Sarah Jessica Parker posted on her Instagram, other people posted on Instagram of Sarah Jessica Parker sitting there, I believe she is holding that bag, and that is her collaboration bag. It is like a light purple that then ombres into a darker purple in the middle, and it looks to be a standard sequin, almost that like semi-transparent sequin, but that has a tint of color, so it's ombreing in. And then the buckle is really, really cool. It looks like it's definitely jeweled, but then you've got some sort of a green stone in the middle that really pops off the bag. In her Instagram caption, she said, "I finally left the house and landed in Fendi Wonderland. Our top secret collaboration of the iconic Fendi Baguette was revealed on the runway tonight, and 4 colorways are due to arrive sparkly and ready just in time for the holidays." Again, maybe December, January timing. I'm interested to see what other colorways are coming in that bag. Let's look at some of my favorite bags in the entire collection from Marc Jacobs before we get into the vintage reinterpretation. I'm going to post some of my stories from Instagram. Again, you can follow me there. Rachel Went Shopping. This entire like look, you can see from this angle, it is a maxi baguette, and you can see how the word baguette is either embroidered or it's like another denim patch that's stitched on there. It just like, it's there, but it also, it like fits and melds in. I really like that, because vice versa, you have what appears to be, I don't know if this, I can't tell if this is white leather or white canvas, but it's white and then very clearly says the baguette across it. This to me, I don't like as much as I like the wash denim one where it blends in more. I do, however, like the little nano with the top handle that says the baguette, just really tiny. That one I think could potentially be on my wish list. Then here's a better shot of the maxi baguette. I'm super curious. I just love this. I want to know how white or how blue it's gonna be. I don't care, because I've mentioned before I don't buy white bags, but this is gonna be the first white bag in my collection. I don't care. I mean, hopefully I can get my hands on it. It is beautiful, and you can see like the distressing of the denim and then all these charms hanging off of it. I can't wait to see how this is all gonna be. I'm assuming sold separately, and then maybe there will be some sold together for an increased price. Then you've got this double one here, which again, it's the same material. So this denim version is available in 3 sizes. You've got the maxi, you've got the standard medium size or whatever, and then you've got the mini size. Personally, I don't own a maxi baguette, and I would like this to be my first maxi baguette. Then I would second go for the white charm that says the baguette very clear, or I want to see what other colors they have, because there was a story post from Marc Jacobs wearing that version of the bag in black leather with white lettering. So I'll show you that one on the screen. I'm not as much of a fan though of the like standard smooth leather, because the denim material is so cool. Now we have to talk about the completely crystal bag. This is the best bag in the entire collection. One of the male models was wearing it on the runway. It's a huge maxi bejeweled bag. It has standard crystal rhinestones, it appears. It looks like it has the like chainmail looking crystals, almost like exactly the ones used on the Versace one, mixed with longer baguette crystals where you are seeing the word Fendi spelled out the way the crystals are placed, which is absolutely unreal, stunning. This is one of the most beautiful baguettes I've ever seen in my life. The maxi, I'm gonna have to guess this is gonna cost $10,000 to $12,000. Like, right? How much do you guys think this is gonna cost? It's huge. Personally, if I had the money, this bag would be probably number one on my wish list, but this bag does come in the same sizes, maxi, the standard, medium, and then the mini, as well as all the little charms. And I think the maxi is gonna be a tough wear because it's so big. Wearing this I would love to be the girl that could wear that in my day-to-day life, but I think that's a lot for everyday wear. I also don't think I would be able to afford it. So I think I'm gonna definitely go for the medium. Let me show you. Marc Jacobs posted yesterday the medium size, and it is gorgeous. So I think this might be the one that I get. And again, you can see how the crystals look almost like chainmail-esque, like they were on that Fendi one. And then you have the mixture of the longer baguette cut type stones that spell out the letters. I think I'm gonna go for this size or the mini size because I don't have a mini. I only have the standard medium size. Depending on the price, I would put this bag at 6,000. What do you guys think? I hope it's not more than that. Maybe 6,000. Based on Fendi crystal one was 4,200, and then the mini with all the gold hardware was like 5,600. I don't know, this might be more than $6,000. It's so beautiful. And then the other model was wearing it in mini. We don't have a good shot of the mini size yet, but that might be the only one I can afford. This is my favorite bag of the entire show. So in a dream world, we got to talk about exclusivity too. Like, I don't know, these might be impossible to get. I don't have a Fendi sales associate, so I'm very sad. I'm gonna have to do a lot of work to try to get this or pay resale, but in a dream world, I would get the denim maxi, I would get the standard size crystal one, and I would get one of the nanos to go with it because I'm assuming they're not sold as a group, but if they are, then even better. But again, I'm very scared of these prices. I really want both of those bags from this collection, and I'm going to start saving now. And I've been trying to do a low buy year. And I think I'm going to take everything else off my wish list for these bags and at least try to get one of them. But eventually I would like both of them in my collection. This collaboration means a lot to me. And it's one of those things that I feel like I can't live without these bags. It's so stupid. As a collector, the way my brain works, I need these bags in my collection. So maybe I won't be able to get either of them and I'll have to track them down to resale years later. Maybe I'll get one of them now. Maybe by some miracle I'll get two. But in a dream world, I would like both of those bags and some sort of a nano. I don't know what this crystal belt thing looks like. It looks really cool, but I'm just being honest with myself. I'm not gonna have the budget to buy everything in this collection. I'm gonna have to pick and choose. I'm interested to see exactly which pouches come with it and what's sold separately, etc., and how much it costs. But these belt things are really cool. The way these little bags attach are really cool. It reminds me of the Dior street chic bags from the early 2000s. I just love everything about this. Here is a great detailed side view shot of that like boucle tweed whatever looking bag, but it's definitely really slouchy. It's definitely that maxi size. I do really like this. I just can't buy everything, right? I do think that the simple black or white leather bag with the baguette very clearly written across it in the opposite color writing is going to be the entry price point bag in this brand. I wish when they were collaborating with a lower price point brand that they would actually lower the prices, but somehow they're always higher. But either way, I think that that's going to be a good entry price point bag for somebody who wants to buy into this collection, doesn't want the glitz, the price of the glitz and the glamour, and can't style denim and is looking for like a cleaner aesthetic. If you wear black leather jacket, black jeans, black t-shirt, the black bag with the baguette written across it is gonna look great. I feel like I can confidently style that denim bag, even though I don't have a lot of light color. Again, I would be very proud to have this be the only white bag in my collection if I can get my hands on this maxi. And I have always wanted a vintage maxi baguette, so I'm happy to also add a maxi baguette to my collection if I can get this bag. So next up, let's look at some of the bags. But you've got the baguette with all of the different shape, size, little baguette pockets facing different directions. You also had this purple tote bag that the model was wearing on her arm. And then you also had, I believe, a yellow backpack and then a pink backpack. This bag also could be, I think, worn as a belt bag. I don't think it's a separate style. I think they're just styling it different ways. Can we also talk about how Kim Kardashian was at the show wearing Fendi Couture from the most recent collection, and she also had a mini bag that matched the dress, though. It wasn't in the couture, like we didn't see it on the runway or whatever, but it was beautiful. This like crystal netting. Oh my gosh, she looks stunning. So then the other detail I really just want to point out is the jewelry. These really incredible crystal chokers and then the earrings. The one model wearing the square sequin skirt really was wearing a lot of the jewelry. The choker I think is incredible. The bangles, all the bracelets are really cool, and then the dangly earrings. Let's look at the jewelry from the Marc Jacobs stuff because I do think that that was probably my favorite of all of the jewelry. So there were two posts that Marc Jacobs reposted on his stories from someone he works with, and you could see the jewelry in the lower right hand corner, and if I zoom in there you can see bracelets as well as these chokers that have like one row of jewels and then the letters and then another row of jewels, and I believe it says Fendi Roma. I don't know if it says anything about Marc Jacobs, but I loved that. The bracelets though, again, second picture, there were some hair barrettes, some like more dainty bracelets. I don't know if this big long one is a belt, but if you look to the right of that, those giant block lettering Fendi Roma is what the one model was wearing. I'll put the picture up on the screen. It looks like it says Fendi huge in block lettering on one wrist and then Roma huge in block lettering on the other wrist. It's incredible. I want them. I'm scared to see the price, but I love the block lettering because again, I think it relates very much to like Marc Jacobs block lettering and his logo, which he has always used. So my three best pieces are the crystal bags, the denim maxi bag that says baguette across it, and then the double bracelets. I would throw a choker in there too, but I can't. I just got the Gucci Balenciaga necklace, so if I could pick three things, oh, actually it has to be four because I need a nano too, but that's gonna have to be fourth place. And then I think like one of the oversized t-shirts or something I could do. I don't know. I love everything. Yeah, so I would just suggest really checking out the jewelry in this collection because I think for like Fendi has some cool like simple logo costume jewelry that I think is good. I think this collection was a standout collection. And again, I believe that it is all designed by 𝒢𝓊𝓎𝓈 Fendi's daughter. Okay, we spent a lot of time on that. Now I'm going to quickly run through the rest of the bags in this collection. And the reason I'm going to do it quickly is because every single bag, I'm pretty sure every single bag, I'm gonna go through them all, but I'm pretty sure every single bag is a reinterpretation of a vintage style. I'm going to show you the bag and then I'm going to show you the style that it is inspired by. So obviously you guys probably know there's the 1997 version of the baguette and then there's the updated version with the updated straps, which a lot of people like. I myself love vintage and I love the 1997 version. I am shocked that the 1997 version was nowhere to be seen in this collection. They took all 1997 bags and updated them. They look exactly the same. They just have new handles, but I was shocked that there were no 97 versions of this bag. So I am interested to see what else is up their sleeve, if there are more bags hiding that we haven't seen, because I was surprised by that. I am very much a fan of vintage baguettes. That is all that I own. And I just think there's so much history behind them. And again, this is going to be a whole separate video because I have way too much to say about it, but it is the first it bag. And if I could, I would own a million variations of them because there's that many of them that are that unique and that beautiful that I wish I could own them. But I realize some people just don't like vintage. I will tell you, when I was younger, I was a bit of a snob and I could not fathom buying a used bag. It's like used bags have cooties or something. I don't know what it is. And I totally get that people feel that way, and to each each their own. I'm not putting anyone down. To me, because the reason why I collect bags is because I love the history of fashion, the history of the bags, you know, the facts and the education behind it. To me, it's that much cooler when you have a vintage bag that had some life of its own before you owned it. And you can look at that bag and be like, I wonder what you were doing in the year 2000, what nightclub you were out partying in New York, and now you're here with me in the Midwest in my little closet, right? I love the thought of the history behind that, but also I care about condition. So I completely understand. I'm not buying like old raggedy used bags, and that is a risk. But whenever I bought my first used bag and I realized this is in great condition. It doesn't smell, doesn't have any stains. It's not like shoes. Like used shoes is a little weird to me, but like what are you putting in your bag that's that offensive, right? So I think sometimes you just have to rip off the Band-Aid and try a used vintage bag and maybe you'll change your mind on it. For me, I love vintage. I love the history of those bags. So when I look at all these reinterpretations, I wouldn't be wasting my money on any of them. I would buy the vintage versions over the new versions. That's just me. I want to waste my money on the new collaborations, the new stuff, the new and exciting stuff, not stuff that's an exact replica of an older style. But for people who don't buy vintage, who love those older styles, but don't want to buy a used bag, this is a great opportunity for you to buy into that and own that history, but get it in a completely new variation. So those are both sides of the spectrum. You do what makes you happy, and I will still love you either way. But for me, I will be investing in the Marc Jacobs pieces if I can get my hands on them, and if they're not, you know, $15,000. Actually, for this part, I'm literally just gonna go through my stories because I posted all of this on my Instagram stories. Some of them sold, so you should be following me because you might have missed out on a good deal. I love this Instagram post that 𝒢𝓊𝓎𝓈 Fendi posted of the baguette. It says, more baguettes are in the oven, stay tuned. That was before the show. Okay, so this first piece here, I said what I just said to you. These are updated versions of almost exact vintage styles, just with new strap. In my opinion, go vintage. So much history, you just have to know how to shop. Meaning, don't get ripped off. Don't buy things that are overpriced. I know what the market value for now is. You know, if you were buying these a couple years ago, they were a couple $100. But I know what today's market value is. I won't spend over a certain amount for a vintage bag. So keep that in mind. Don't make stupid purchases. If you're gonna spend $4,000 on a vintage bag, you might as well buy the new one. In this case, if you can find a good deal, then you should go vintage. So this one is an exact copy of a vintage style. So there are several color variations of this square sequin version of this bag. In this next photo, it's the exact one. Again, the 1997 one has the buckles down the side with the adjustable strap. It's a little harder to wear on your shoulder, but the intention of the baguette when it was originally released was kind of carrying it like a baguette under your arm. You can see it's exactly the same. This bag is also available in blue, pink. I'll find the photo in the book and I will show it to you because I'm pretty sure that one is featured in there. So many color variations of these bags. In my opinion, you can find them for $1,500 or less. I posted a picture of this blue one. I believe this one was overpriced, so I covered the price because I don't want to give anyone bad information. Again, I would pay around $1,500 for this bag, maybe $2,000 for it. If it's in perfect condition, you have to be careful. You have to check the beading, you have to check the stitching, you have to check the interiors. But this bag for $2,000 is half the price of what it's probably gonna cost. This one, I really like this bag because personally, the Zuka print Fendi Baguette to me is like the never full to Louis Vuitton. It's the classic basic bitch, for lack of a better word, version of the baguette, and there's nothing wrong with it, and part of me wants it. So if I'm gonna get a Zuka print baguette, why not get this one that has a little more something to it to like spice it up. So I do like this one because I like the clean, clear like stones, and then of course Python lizard is used often in vintage baguette bags, and you see it reinterpreted here. Here is the vintage version of this bag. You can see it's almost exactly the same, except they're using colored stones. And there are other variations of this in vintage style. This one is from the late 90s, early 2000s. You can see the blue python, which I really love. This is priced on the RealReal at $1,255. If it's still available, I will tag it down below. This is a great bag. Again, you get the Zuka, you get the basic logo, which I love because I want to represent Fendi. So I would like to wear the Zuka print loud and proud, but you get a little bit of spice. spice, right? Something fun, which Fendi is all about fun. So I think that's a great bag, but I also like the 2023 one. So you could go either way there. Then you've got the basic beaded bag, which the beaded bag you see here comes in a million color variations. This is actually, this beaded version with the vertical beads is actually the very first style that Carrie wore on Sex and the City, except it was either gold beads or green beads, I can't remember, in season 2. This bag you can buy on Vestiaire Collective right now for $1,500 for the regular size. This is the mini one on the runway. It's probably gonna cost around $3K. You could buy the vintage one. This one appears to be in good condition. Full disclaimer, I pulled these images because I know a lot of vintage baguettes in my head. I've got like an encyclopedia in here. I pulled these screenshots in like a matter of 15 minutes as I was seeing these bags. So I did not check them for authenticity. I did not check the condition. You do your due diligence. If you need help with authenticity, DM me on Instagram. I am an experienced baguette buyer and I will give you my advice. But this is a great price, $1,500 for the black beaded bag. Next, you have a paillette sequin bag. We all know this bag. It comes in a million colors. It came in a million colors when it originally came out. It's gonna retail for over $4,000. They had one with Python on the RealReal for $19.95. I don't know if one of my followers bought this because my friend was about to buy it and it sold while she was trying to check out. So again, you should be following me if you want some good deals. This bag looked like it was in great condition too. There were more colors of the paillette versions. There was that light lavenderish purple. There was the lime green. Precious Lee posted a good photo of that one. I'll put up on the screen. And they have the classic like a glitter enamel in the Fendi logo, which was something they did on the vintage styles, which is really cool. Then you've got this pony hair. Actually, I can't tell. This one could be mink. And it's got like the squared off edge. And then here's a picture of the original version of this bag from a campaign. I believe this one would have been from 98, 99, or 2000. I don't know the exact date of this campaign, but you can see they're almost exactly the same. Then the cow print, very classic vintage style. I am not a cow print fan. I'm barely a zebra print fan. You got to get me in the right zebra print. Cow print, you're not going to catch me in cow print. But the turquoise buckle on this bag is incredible. If I ever did a Fendi special order, I feel like I'd try to incorporate a turquoise buckle because I do love the stone buckles, malachite, turquoise, whatever. Anyways, no cow print for me, but people can pull it off. Especially it does have like a 90s vibe. Anyways, they made these in a million colors. I'll show you in the baguette book because I think this one's in there too. Here's one on the RealReal. The condition on this one does not look great. For $1,000, you can find these for less in better condition on eBay from Japanese resellers. Then the charms. We forgot to talk about the charms. There are so many charms. I cannot wait to see what these are priced, but Fendi has done charms, many charms in the past. These cost like $100 on eBay. Go buy them right now before they raise the price. They come in different variations, different enamel types from vintage seasons in the past. I'm very curious to see how these little ones are going to be priced. These, I will say, the 2023 ones do look functional. If they are, that's enticing to me. Definitely check out the vintage ones for $100. You can add it on your bag. I have one somewhere in my drawers over there. This one is a really cool concept. You've got the, I believe it's the sunshine tote or whatever, right? With the baguette in a little clear pocket in the front. This baguette is engraved in my brain because Madonna wore it. I'll show you the picture, but it is from fall 1999. Here's a fall 99 ad campaign. Here is the picture of Madonna wearing it. She was dating Guy Ritchie at the time. This is from the British Film Awards in 2000. I don't know why. I just always remember this picture and her wearing this baguette. So that's the exact baguette in that tote on the 2023 runway. Obviously slight variations, but then this bag is for sale on Vestiaire Collective right now for $13.72. And I was posting this and I was like, why didn't I buy this bag? Because this seems like something I would buy. I love Madonna. I remember this bag. It's a good price for the beading, the craftsmanship of a baguette. We're gonna get into that in another video, guys. This bag for $13.72, this iconic bag, someone needs to buy it. And the reason why I didn't buy it, I realize, is because it's a European seller and it's a shipping restriction to the US. So if you're in the US, you can't buy this bag. If you are an international viewer, you should go buy this bag off Vestiaire Collective because this is a great price. I did look at it. It does look authentic to me, but we can talk about it in my DMs if you have questions. And then yeah, thanks for coming to my TED Talk on baguettes. I want to show you guys mine in another video. I want to tell you more about baguette craftsmanship. I want to tell you more about vintage and the history and everything, but this video is already way too long, I can tell. There are a lot of great deals out there to be found. Most of those listings are from the RealReal, Vestiaire Collective. Fashion File has good deals on baguettes a lot. Rebag has good deals on baguettes a lot. Vintage baguettes. I like to go to eBay. I type in Fendi Baguette. I filter low to high and I look at the Japanese sellers there's usually great deals on vintage baguettes. If you stuck around, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel because I have so much more to tell you about Fendi Baguette bags, and I cannot wait to show you mine because I have some really cool ones that I think you have never seen before. I had never seen them before I bought them, and they have really cool history behind them too. Follow me on Instagram, Rachel Went Shopping. Follow me on TikTok, Rachel Went Shopping. I'm gonna be posting a lot of Fendi content over the next 2 weeks because super hyped about this show and the 25th anniversary. You might see my bags faster there too. I wanna know if you guys liked this collaboration or not, or hated it. Again, it resonates with me. It resonates with my style. Not everybody is gonna like it. I cannot wait to see others' opinions on it. People that might be Fendi fans and not Marc Jacobs fans, etc. I really want some like back and forth on this in the comments because I haven't seen any videos on this yet. I'm filming it right away, so I cannot wait to see what other people's opinions are. I'd also like to know if you guys do or don't like buying used bags. I'm super curious like what some of my viewers, if you like secondhand unboxings or if you prefer brand new unboxings. Tell me in the comments what you think of my favorite picks and what your favorite picks were, and if you are planning on trying to pick anything up. I hope they're not too exclusive. I hope they give some of us a shot. I know it's gonna be really hard. I hope they don't price them too high. I'm like praying on that price, man. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.